Yes, it is something that people are surprised about when you say, the Hang Seng index has performed quite well, like the Nifty 50, which is the Indian index, the Jakarta Stock Exchange, the TAIEX, which is Taiwan. These are all at or near all-time highs. And this is quite amazing in this sort of environment. You remember in November when Trump came in, people became very nervous about Asia. It was, oh, there's going to be a trade war, just get me out. And actually the opposite has happened. Asian markets have outperformed the US. So since the beginning of 2017, Asian markets are about 15%. The MSCI Asia ex-Japan index is up 15%, whereas the US is up more 5-6%. So it's been quite a significant outperformance this year. I think the things that are driving it, one, I'll be honest, there's a lot of passive flows. So if you look at the stocks that are driving this upwards, it's the large caps. The Samsung Electronics is almost at an all-time high. TSMC is at all-time high. Alibaba's done very well. Some of these really large cap stocks are driving that up. And we own all those stocks that I just mentioned. They're some of the best companies in the world. They're not Asian stocks. Samsung Electronics is not an Asian stock. It happens to be headquartered in Korea, but these are global stocks. And I think that people realize that these are attractively valued, high growth, good quality companies, and they're not expensive, particularly versus some of their peers in other markets. So I think that's one thing that's driving it. Secondly, the political environment is relatively benign, and I think to some extent the election of Trump in the U.S. makes people realize that political risk in Asia, with Korea maybe being one exception, is pretty benign versus what it can be in the rest of the world. Europe also. If you ask me where the most political risk, at the beginning of 2017, where's the most political and regulatory and policy risk? It would definitely not be Asia. So I think that sort of environment is helping. And lastly, Asia is a high growth region, and for things to go up, it's not a value call. You're not saying this region is trading at 1 times book, and for it to go up 20%, it needs to be trading at 1.2 times book. You're saying this is a region that's growing at 10%. Our portfolio is growing at 21%. So even if that growth just comes through and you don't get any multiple re-rating, there's a lot of upside for our stocks and for the region as a whole.